Once again, it's not been anything but a messy week here in the UK. Let's start with the BBC, the so-called left-wing propaganda machine. Things have gone from bad to worse over the past week. I would honestly love to be a fly on the wall in the HQ right now. It would have been insane. Anyway, they didn't just doctor Donald Trump's January the 6th speech once, they did it twice. 2 separate programs, 2 separate years, same edit, same false impression. Let's start with the most recent one. The Panorama episode Trump a Second Chance aired just before the 2024 US election, and it stitched together completely different lines from Trump's speech to make it sound like he actually told supporters in the crowd to fight like hell and storm the Capitol. In reality, the full clip shows him saying, "We're going to peacefully and patriotically make our voices heard." So very, very different. Take a listen.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness.
A leaked 19-page dossier shared with The Telegraph by a former advisor to the BBC's own editorial standards committee said that Panorama had made Trump say things he never actually said, which is kind of concerning, right? He resigned in protest, saying senior figures refused to acknowledge that there was an issue at all. That should have been bad enough. But no, it actually gets worse. The Telegraph has since revealed that Newsnight did the same thing back in 2022. Same speech, same cut, same manipulation. The next day, BBC staff apparently questioned how that edit ever went out, only to be told to move on. Move on? Really? The 2 edits are nearly identical, and this makes me think that this wasn't just a coincidence, an accident, but actually repetition. Now Trump's lawyers are calling it a pattern of defamation. They say it was intentional, deceitful, and aimed at interfering with an election, which is a big deal and a big problem. Talking of the President Donald Trump, he's done a 40-minute long interview with GB News, which in and of itself is a massive thing. Now, whether you think that he should actually speak on the UK and UK politics or not, and I've seen some people say that he shouldn't really get involved, and I actually disagree because they are our biggest ally after all. He confirmed that he has received a written apology from the BBC, but he's still calling it beyond fake. He's saying it's corrupt, the BBC. And he says that his lawyers plan to sue them for a potential $5 billion, calling it an obligation to stop this happening again. In this interview, he also spent some time talking about the state of the UK and Europe in general right now. He describes Europe as sad, damaged by high taxes and mass immigration. And he calls London's Mayor Sadiq Khan a disaster, claiming that London and Paris actually have now no-go zones, that the police don't even want to go to particular areas, and that we have in Europe and in the UK, we actually have Sharia law happening, which really should scare everyone. He also said that his mother loved London of the past, but it's just not the same city anymore, and I really can't disagree with that. Since all this about the BBC, Director General Tim Davie Head of News Deborah Turnis have both resigned. And even former BBC journalists are warning that the corporation has become an activist machine. It's no longer just a news outlet sharing truthful news. Despite all this, the BBC still insists it holds itself to the highest editorial standards. But maybe those standards just don't exist anymore. Maybe it's time that we all actually stop footing the bill for them, because we're keeping them in business, and we're proud to say that we haven't had a TV license for about 5 years now. In other news, but sorry, not really happier news, this one is actually really quite diabolical. The SNP-led Scottish Government just published a review recommending an automatic right to abortion up to 24 weeks. No grounds needed. After 24 weeks, just 2 medics need to approve the decision. The worst part, they advise against banning sex-selective abortion. This means that a baby could potentially be aborted just for being a boy or being a girl. Now, in cultures where sons are actually really preferred, this could really hit girls the hardest. Critics are calling this shocking, supporters are calling this progress. I saw this and honestly I just thought it was absolutely disgusting and appalling. These are recommendations, not laws yet, but this kind of gives us an indication as to where Scotland's heading. You may have actually seen this one on social media, but in Oxford, a previously historical and beautiful area around a river called Cherwell, I'm not sure how to say that, has only become what I can describe as a complete and utter eyesore. Rubbish as deep as 20 feet and apparently as long as 500 feet has been dumped right next to it. It's believed to be the work of an organised criminal network operating in waste disposal. Like, you'd have to have the equipment to do this. It's not just some random person going and leaving their Snickers wrapper. But anyway, it looks like Oxford has honestly just become the third world in that area. And yet again, more grooming gang tragedies. 7 men have been charged with over 40 offences in Bristol. In a Bristol grooming gang case involving 11 teenage girls. Among the accused are Syrian and Iranian nationals. When will this stop? Enough is enough, honestly, it's barbaric. And apparently we should now baptise asylum seekers, even if this helps them avoid deportation. Soon to be Archbishop of Canterbury, Dame Sarah Mullally, says that churches shouldn't hesitate to actually baptise asylum seekers. Critics are warning that Christianity is being used to actually subvert immigration law, and it's hard not to agree here. And then we've had France. They are now stopping fewer migrant boats after Keir Starmer's one-in, one-out deal. Now, since Starmer's handshake with Macron, French police are stopping just 28% of channel crossings, which is down from 38% that was the case before. 2 deported migrants have already made it back to Britain, so that didn't go so well. So much for progress. Transgender women have been banned from female-only Olympic events, which is a huge win. The IOC will ban transgender women from competing in female events after a scientific review actually confirmed permanent physical advantages that you get whilst going through male puberty. Who would have known that, hey? Finally, fairness in women's sports is being protected. This is great news. And lastly, veterans in Inverness have been told to vacate Cameron Barracks to house 300 asylum seekers. The government really does just keep proving who it prioritises. We share the week's news without the woke agenda every single Saturday morning on our free newsletter. The link to sign up is in the description of this video. We would love to have you over there, especially if you care about this stuff. And to get even more, as the week's going on, do check out our notes on our Substack and our short videos that come out throughout the week on all of our different socials. Thank you so much for watching this, and we will see you next time.